Here we are in beautiful Lake Union, Seattle, on a brisk December evening, December 2013. Behind me is the 92-meter, 303-foot Sahara. It is back on the market. It was in the middle of a conversion. It needs to be completed. It is an astounding vessel.
The shape on this ship is beautiful, and it is very, very expensive to reproduce. Because it's not just visual, it's built into the structure of the ship. The flare of the bow and the rake of the bow and the rake of the stern. And it's a molded hull. You know, most vessels nowadays are a hard chine hull, and this is a molded hull. You know, a lot of the ships that were built in the last 30 or 40 years, they've chosen the least expensive build method, which means straight lines, no rake, no shear. Everything is square, so they can build it with a you could have home builders actually build the ships. And so with this ship, you needed to have real ship fitters, and there was a real art going into this, the shape of the bottom and the bow and the way the vessel has a rake and camber. Even the decks are cambered. So there's a lot of shape and a lot of style to this, which you do not. It's just not built into ships because it's just so expensive. It probably doubles the cost of a vessel. And it was designed structurally so that it could be. You could have quite a few different interior configurations without having to worry about structure. So you have a lot of flexibility there. The ship was always maintained in fresh water. And once NOAA sold the vessel, she's been moored and maintained continuously in fresh water. Her steel hull is in practically new condition. I mean, just very little wastage, if any at all. She's heavily built. She is ice classed. So that means she's got special framing for the first third of the ship, special hull plating along the waterline in critical areas. Very heavily built vessel that is structurally is in as new condition. I've had the vessel to 18, and that was without pushing anything hard. She's a very efficient hull. These are slow turning, very smooth. When she was running, when we were running at 18 knots, you couldn't even feel her. There was no vibration, and it's so quiet.
When you get into vessels over, let's say, 60 meters, 200 feet, and you start to get up to the size of this vessel, which is 92 meters, 300 feet, I think you're really not talking about a yacht anymore. You're talking about a ship finished to yacht quality. So I just wanted to make that distinction and point out that here in Seattle, they are very adept at dealing with ocean-going ships.
Well, this is one of our facilities here in Seattle, and we work on vessels. We have about 1,500 feet of deep water moorage, a dry dock. We can work up to 150 men here. Steel, electrical, finish, paint. And we're in the heart of Seattle, which is one of the Western Hemisphere's top maritime ports. It's great for materials, trades, great contractors in all fields, from hydraulic, electrical, air conditioning, to finish, paint, fairing.
I'm in the engine room now, and one deck below me here are 4 Fairbanks Morse engines. 3 of them are near new. They were put in by the U.S. government just before they disposed of the vessel.
This is the propulsion machinery control room for the diesel electric system. It has all the tank sounding systems for all of the tanks, main engine monitoring of temperatures and pressures, and of course all the propulsion motor controls. It was set up for unattended engine room or remotely monitored engine room space. For a ship of this size to have enough monitor points, have enough data checkpoints where you could really run the ship engineering-wise from this control space.
You'll see that these walls have been taken back to the insulation. Overhead, I'm going to show you some details of the wiring. They actually stripped out the plumbing in here, but they left the base of the showers and the sink piping.
Why do replumbing? You know, when you got the sewage, lines and all of that here. All these, and all these cables have markings on them. You know, they've got tags on them. These tags right here are numbers. These equate, all those equate to circuits. Yeah, so it's relatively easy to use a circuit or to reuse a circuit.
The thing that you'll notice in these open spaces on Sahara is that there aren't a lot of structural walls. These vessels were built to the highest government standards with the best steel and the thickest steel. This is an ice class vessel. But because of that, you can actually gut the interior and you can create huge open spaces that have great structural integrity. And there are lots of portholes and they can be made even bigger, no problem.
Very stable. Now, there is no stability issue, that's for sure. Look at this, the way this flows up, it's just beautiful. I mean, a completed vessel, I bet you would take about 4 years from the time the plans were developed, and I would suspect a cost substantially over $200 million. The simplest would be to put new ship's auxiliary generators in, which would be late model, auto start, you know, all fully automated, and you could leave the existing propulsion generators and propulsion drive motors. And the propulsion drive motors are good for the life of the ship. Then the next upgrade, if you really wanted to go to the full Monty, would be to change the ship's propulsion drive generators to AC generators, dual fuel. They could be either diesel and or LNG. I suspect, you know, you could do this in a shorter time frame as a year, 12 months. And if you're going to go more extensively, a more extensive refit with full fairing and changing out main propulsion engines and so forth, you would need probably another year, take about 18 to 20 months.
But come to Seattle, check out the boat, and you'll see, and you can make up your mind. But I tell you, you must come and see this boat. There's no other way to appreciate it. You got to come see it for yourself, because there's nothing quite like it.
Come on. 16 staterooms plus crew quarters and then new galley and all of that. It wouldn't take much to have a boat like this kicking ass and doing well. Operational, out cruising.